Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm just going to show you this watercolor pad that I just finished, and I've been working on it since end of June, beginning of July, and it's one that I took on vacation that you actually saw the first video of, and I've actually finished it now, so I'm just going to show you the finished product. So I'm just going to start, and here I just added some texture here, napkins, tissue paper. This is a stencil that I did on rice paper and stuck it on top. I'm gonna go over here. So here we have some collage that I did. This is actually out of canvas paper. This is a cutout. This was a landscape, and I just adapted it and gave it a fresh look. Here's another landscape, and again I just went over it and gave it a little bit of a fresh look. Here are some cutouts, again the napkins, and more rice paper with some stencil and these sprays, and a bit of an outline. Here I have stamps, rice paper with the stencil, the same one as before with the scribble, some gold ink, another white stamp that I have, this guy here. I just used the Brilliance Midnight White, and I gave it white instead of a black, and then I kind of colored in a few of those. There's a circle in the background, a bit of a texture. There's a cutout here of another painting that I had left over, and I just stuck it there. On this guy we have, these are also a collage from another project that I did, leftovers, and it's got the actual Pebeo gold on top, and you can have some relief, and a stamp. Yeah, so then I put a stamp on there and colored it in. I have a white block that my husband actually made for me that I use as a stamp, and I did that. Here we got some paper. Here we got some nice decorative paper. Also these in the background, some stamps, and some other textures that I added. Here, these were already completed in video 1. I just went over with the black just to make it more unified. This was also completed in the video 1, so I didn't do any changes here. I added some minor details in this one, not much that it would be noticeable, I suppose. This one is the same as well, no changes there from video 1. I actually got a real leaf here that I painted gold. Lots of things from our trip as well has been embedded. Here we went to London, so I did a little bit of the castle and a few bits and pieces from our vacation. These are papers that I got from the Palace down in Brighton, and I love them. They're so pretty. And then wrapping paper as well, that's been embedded. I just added a few bits that I had. These are cutouts from the donuts. Can't remember the place, but the pink box, you might know it. And I have a bunch of circles from the box, and I keep those just for projects like this. Here I've added crackle paint that I had. I cut out the circles for another project, so I had these odd shapes and I just added it to here, and I thought it would go well with the theme. It's got a combination of stamps, Jello pen, paper, rice paper with different paints, inks. There's 3 different types of papers here to add this finished look. This one is done with napkins, believe it or not, and then washi tape, and then I kind of painted over and unified it, and then I had a little grass stamp that I put on, and that was cute just to give it a finished touch. These ones, I think they were completed without the without the bees. And then I added this little bit here, but it was more or less already done. This one too, I haven't touched it. This I haven't touched. This I added a few bits. I don't know how far I had progressed in my video one. Most probably there was missing lots of things. It was just the color underneath. So yeah, I added all these collage papers that I made myself. This one with the gold. This one also is with the canvas paper. These are cutouts from a stencil that I have, that I made and then cut out, and then circles that I had extras, and here's some tissue paper that I stamped honeycomb on it, and I always keep that in different colors because I love that. And it's actually not a stamp, it's just one of those that you put hot pots on, so I just use it for stencils. This is another paper that I did. It's on rice paper, but then I went over it with the glossy gel medium, and it gave it this kind of waxy effect, which I really like. That was from that was done with the stencil, and then I added some circles, some gold, some stamps, and then here's another piece of tissue, paper that I have, decorative paper. This I haven't changed anything, it's just a straight pattern. This I think it was done in video one. I'm not sure how far it was progressed, but it's pretty much complete. Again, I added some Japanese themed papers that I have here. Then I followed, traced the little pattern that it has, and with the Posca pen. And then I had one of those donut boxes circles again cut out, stuck here, and then we got some tissue paper for the with the honeycomb again, and there's a bit more over here. There's another cutout circle here, but it's all textural, you don't really see it until you get close. And then I kind of went with this theme of like a leopard kind of different theme. This is, I haven't done anything on this. This is the same as video one, but I really like the fact that I have embedded here memorabilia from our trip, and so I know it's always there. I changed this a little bit. I added this piece here, and it is rice paper with the sprays, you know, different the distress sprays, different colors. And then I added a stamp, and this was done with a stencil with white paint, white acrylic paint, and I just ripped it and put some butterfly stamps, and that was that. Here I added this is actually Yupo paper with matte black acrylic paint, and then on top of that I stenciled a crackle gel, so I got this effect with the contrast between the gloss and the matte, and plus you can feel the texture of the crackle, so it came out pretty cool. I did this with the stamp. This is one of my new ones. I was testing it out. I really like it, and then I just did some of the green golden paint around it, and then glazed it so it wouldn't smudge. All these have been protected with my matte medium gel. This was a postcard from a magazine we bought in England, and yeah, I just put it there and I thought it was cool, and left it. Some shopping tags. Again, we got paper bags from things we bought. Here's again the cutouts from the donut box. I really like this one. This one came out really nice, colorful, and you know, it doesn't have any meaning, but it's very visual for me. Here we've got a lot of acrylic paint. We got papers, layers of papers, circles, textures, collage that I've added. These are collage on Yupo paper. then with gold paint on with a stencil, and you can actually see the texture from the paint. And then some rice paper that again I cut out and colored it most probably with the peacock and the blues of all these color distress oxide sprays. I did have to seal them before using them. Here's another one, the blue, most probably that went in there too. And then I used the gold from, I think I'd use Liquitex for that one. And if it's not Liquitex, it most probably it's the golden, yeah, the golden brand, iridescent gold. But I think it was the Liquitex. Yeah, so it came out pretty cool. This was white and I colored it in with a Posca pen. It unified it quite a bit, and you still have some whites, but not as much as before. And then some of these pages do stick together, but you know, this was my trouble page for so long. I just couldn't get it to a point where I was really happy with it. So this has got layers and layers and layers of stuff. But this is the original. This part here, original. This part is original. And these are painted over, but they were original. The only thing really that helped, it would tie it in, was this stencil that I have on Newport paper that I cut out. I used alcohol ink to color it, and then I used actually something different, which I used the neon, not red, but the pinks. These two, there's three of them actually. There's a purple as well. But I used these pouring paints that I have. It's a brand that I just got online just for the fun of it, and it worked out pretty well because it gave it this lovely texture and color, and they really pop. And then I really had to tone this down, so I painted it white, and then I added some stencil, actually not a stencil, it was a stamp, and I'll show you right now what stamp it was. We'll put this away. So yeah, I'll put this stamp, this one, which is pretty cool, and scribbles, and I used this color, Ocean, which worked out pretty nice. Just a little touch there, not too much. Here I have a bit of Yupo paper on both ends. It's got some black underneath, acrylic paint that I just washed off. Most probably I was even just cleaning my paintbrush. And then I stenciled on textured paint. I actually used this one, stencil butter, that color, and I actually used it again here. And here I used, I think, the gold on the other one, so yeah, that will be the other one that I used. You know, this was fun because it does pop, and you can just put it anywhere, and even if you can't really see, because here I muted it, you can still feel the texture. And this was a sticker that I got in UK. I really liked it. I just stuck it in my book and added a few. I didn't know what to put with it, so that's what I came up with. This is new. This I started, I think, in video 1, but never really finished it. So I just gave it a few more details, a bit more of the green gold washi tape. Defined these areas here with this is my tissue paper with my honeycomb stencil, homemade stencil. I had another stencil here with the little flowers, and you know, just a little bit more to this page. And I did add a lot of color here, even though it's not, you don't add transparent yellow iron oxide, and also the iridescent gold that was added there too on the, and then here this paper is actually one of my collages from one of my projects, and it's got gold foil stuck to it, and so you have pieces of a gold foil and other paints in the mix, and it's on a canvas paper. Some washi tape, another type of washi tape there, and in the background this is my ABBA page, because we went to see ABBA, and really had lots of fun. So a lot of this are collage papers that I had. This is a bit of what we had on the other side. A lot of rice paper as well that I have, with stencils and colored with again these sprays from, you know, these ones, but in most probably the colors that I use for that, I'll show you in a minute. That's probably the pumpkin, the mustard, and I know there was a purple. There's this one, the honey. I didn't use that, but there was some purple, but not this particular piece, but in another one. So most probably these are the ones that I used for this particular underneath rice paper that I added. I do have a fun thing that I found in a garage sale, this one, so that's what I use for those. It's so much fun to use. Yeah, so I just dedicated this to ABBA, as we saw we went to the ABBA concert. It was so much fun. I took my mom and my kids. Yeah, we did go to the Tate Museum, and right opposite was this old book store, and they were selling like beautiful art books for £1, £2 or £5. Came out with a bunch of books, obviously. This was a piece out of one of the books, and then I just did my own version of it next to it. Nothing complicated, but when you're traveling, it's really nice to have just a simple something to do and design. This is another one, washi tape, and this is a collage that I stuck on that I made. I made a lot of papers, cardstock papers with black gesso and then white acrylic lines, all different types of lines. Here I have more. I did dots, I did lines, I did so many of them, and they're so much fun to add in many places, you know, different. You can just, you know, cut pieces out, do circles or whatever you like, and it's just, and then I added a stamp here, another type of stamp. There's napkins, tissue paper, lots of color, and then I unified it with the green gold. I find that color very harmonizing. It really does help harmonize a piece. So this was used by not just me, but my kids also drawing it quite a bit. Those two landscapes were done by my son, and my daughter did this face, and I didn't do much except for I just added a little bit of collage paper that I made, rice paper, and again here's the purple, and it does a beautiful combination with that orange and that yellow. You get this kind of mixed color with the stencil. It came out really nice. I like that a lot. I did that several times, different versions, but it's a beautiful collage paper, so I stuck that on, and I added this is from National Geographic most probably, or something like that, and then I used the paper to leftover stencils, clean them out or paint and just work over them, and then I keep them, and you know, they end up on pages like this. my daughter did this page as well, and I just added some little lines and an outline, and that was that. This was actually a scrap paper that I was wiping my paint on and letting all the drips go, and I really liked the effect because I was using, I think, alcohol inks, and I just really liked this, and I just stuck it on here, and I thought this is going to be part of it. I just added some lines, a background, and good to go. This one, I don't think I've changed anything. Again, it's just got my collage paper that I made. I used here a fork, or you know, a thick comb to drag gold lines in black matte acrylic on paper. This is a nice paper that I have that I use for collages. Again, that stamp, but with the white black matte background, and came up very pretty. This one is it was on a canvas. It did not work. I didn't want to lose it, so I just stuck it here. And this is well, it's just a piece, and then I what do you call it, cyanotype that I did outside in the sun. Instead of putting leaves or anything like that, I actually put a stencil, and so the stencil is actually what made, I think this is the stencil I used. I have it right here. So, you know, I just put the stencil on top and left it out in the sun, and you know, this is what I got out of it. Then I kind of touched these pieces to make them darker with indigo, give them some gold. Then I covered it with a gold leaf, and then I covered it with actually pouring medium. The others I used a resin, epoxy resin, but this one I thought I'd try the pouring medium. It worked. The only thing is it's very sensitive and tacky, so I really did not like it as a finished product. I mean, I'm gonna try and seal it and see what happens, but yeah. Anyway, I was just experimenting, and I might continue and see, because I know it can be used this way, and I'm just trying to see how I can improve the finished look. These are fun. I just, yeah, again, there's a lot of tissue paper here. We got the honeycomb, but in a different color, a bit of a teal. We've got actually, these are from shoe boxes, this paper, tissue paper. I did some cutouts from black cardstock painted that I had left over, painted with the matte black acrylic. These are lovely papers that I got from Blick. This is actually, something, it's really the other way around. It has a white stamp on it, and I tore it apart, but I wasn't happy with it in that way. But what I did was got a hole puncher, punched a bunch of holes, and then put it upside down, and I kind of like it more that way. This again, I used a lot of this. I had some leftovers. Circles that I punched out from other papers, washi tape, the shoebox paper, the tissue paper that I make with the honeycomb, and it's just a modge podge of different things, but it looks cool together, I think. Here I went with the green theme. I used more of this again. I have a circle one. I used the stamp here, but in white. This is a cutout stencil that I did on green cardstock. Napkin again, tissue. Kind of that's the idea. Just something simple. I like that I did the outline of the stencil. and continued that in white and then black on the inside. This is actually came with the wrapping of this, and so I thought that's a great idea. We're going to use that, so that went on this. This has a bunch of papers. There's some rice paper with a stamp of some writing that I have. Again, I used these that I made. Tissue paper underneath. I think there's about a couple of different types of tissue paper. I added some flowers, some dots and some bubbles, and I added these two pieces here, which I really like. This paper, black. I have it in white too, but I did use the white in my new one, but it's not finished yet, so I'll show you that another time. Here I used a lot of leftover paper collage that I made. This one is with the gold, so you use the foil with the glue, and you get this texture. And then I used a stencil with this texture paint that I got, which I just got this, so I thought I wanted to try it out. This is a stencil that I have. Bits of it, so I just cut it to pieces. There's another collage paper here, a big one, in several pieces that I did on I think it's on cardstock, but or if not U-book paper, but that's there in the background as well. And here this is a collage paper that I made with different textures, and I used the gold pen to do the outline of these, and then I did do a bit here just to smudge the paint a bit. This was a big piece that I used in another painting, and I was just left with this little strip here that I put here. These are napkins that I have, and I cut them out with my big circle cutter. Doesn't come out very good, but you know, I get the gist, and then I finish it off with my scissors. I do have a lovely green paper with dragonflies that I put here. I did add a lot of gold ink with I suppose teal and blues. And this is a canvas paper with blue ink, and then I added the gold stencil on top, and I used it for another project, and I have a ton of like leftovers or bits of this, so this came out really nice to put this little detail here. And then my last page, this one as well was another one that I was struggling with, and in the end I really like it, but you know, I went through a lot of phases with this one. In fact, you can see it's covered with paint, but then I went over, I got my I outlined these shapes and then colored them with the acrylic matte paint, and then, you know, outlined it with the white, and I'm really happy with it now. And that's it. So that was my entire July and August, I must say. I've been working hard to finish this one, but it has been a lot of fun. I've already started a new one, and it's here. I'm just going to give you a peekaboo. But I have been ripping a lot of pages out of this, so it's not going to be as big as the other one, but I am determined to finish it off. So this is kind of the first stage. It's not finished yet. These are still work in progress. I kind of work in layers and go back to them. We did a trip today, so I worked on a lot of these on my trip today. Here's the white version of that black gauze tissue that I was talking about. And it looks really nice because it absorbs all the colors, all the different colors. And then you know, I love these with the paint. So these are just going to be, these are backgrounds for the moment. And see, these are the white circles I was telling you about, the stamps. But, you know, they're still not finished. But, you know, this is how I start, and just fill them up with colour, with texture and paper, and then slowly I get there. These two, this needs, I don't like the evenness of the black, so most probably I'm going to have to go over that. This, of course, this is just the beginning. This one too. So there you go. This is just, I've already started the new one. But I'll show you that once it's finished, and that's it for now. Thank you.